Guys, I finally did it. I had the absolute best race that I've had yet on Forza Motorsport, but not before having a super awkward bug of not being able to select tires, not being able to select fuel, and staring at a loading screen for about 45 seconds. But skipping forward to the start of the race. Now, this was not a full lobby, and there was only 5 people in the race, but I don't think that that matters in this situation. I was in a rented car, this BMW M8. I've been trying to just kind of find which one was the best, and needless to say, I made the purchase of this M8 immediately after this race. I'm kind of wishing I'd purchased it ahead of time, but that's besides the point. Ray Oak in the NSX drops off right behind us. I do want to note I am also on 100% fuel because I was not able to change it. We got a really, really good run on Apple. I gave him a little tiny bump in the quarter there. He's going to get out in front of me. Everybody kind of had more speed than me, it seems, just because of the fuel issue. But I was going to get up right behind him, give him a nice little ride, and he's going to go sailing. I'm just going to kind of play it safe. Seems like everybody's off the road a little bit. KTM, give him a little bit of a bump instead of trying to go around him. Again, it's only the first lap. We have 7 to go. Useful Poet, though. The KTM, for some reason, I don't really like the KTM. It's like very fast in the straights, but in the corners, it's terrible. I haven't been able to come to grips with it. Pushing me off just a little bit. I'm going to do a little over and under on him there. Mr. Apple Orange out in front is starting to pull ahead pretty significantly. These guys fighting behind it, as you can see in the rear view. Ray Oak would definitely be back, though, so don't you worry about him. Useful Poet, not so much. You might see him a little bit at the end of the race. So Road America is one of my favorite tracks, pretty much of all time. This is like very, very big, even from back in like Forza Motorsport 3, 4. I used to love this track. I know it pretty well. I'm not the best racer out there, but this race was a nail-biter through and through, all the way to the very, very last corner. I'm a little bit shaky, kind of getting a little sideways coming out of that last corner there. Trying to get good on the straight, but as you can see, everybody behind me is starting to gain on me 1/10 at a time. Ray Oak now at 2 seconds, 1.9. I have to kind of blame the fuel. I have an estimated 17 laps, but I don't think there's a way to take fuel out in the pit stops. So you kind of just have to live with it when the game glitches the way it does. Right off the track, because I am an absolute legend, giving Ray Oak easy pickings on me here. I'm not going to fight him. I'm just going to let him go. I don't see a point in trying to stop that. That's just blocking, if I'm honest. But catching up to Ray Oak, we're going to just try and outdrive him. I know the car is not faster, but if we can just be consistent all the way through, do our braking before the tunnel on this nice left-hander, stay in the power all the way through on that corner there, all the way on that nice right. And then this corner for me is my biggest struggle. I usually tend to brake a little bit too late and take a bad line. But the track limits are pretty nice, so they let me get away with that. The BMW M8, though, I did end up making my own paint job and everything for it. Just because after this race, it made me fall in love with it. I could not get over how much I like this car compared to the other GT3 cars I've been driving. The closest second for me would probably be the AMG GT3. But that's just because a popular sim racer and popular race car driver that I like, Daniel Morad. He's a big GT3 guy. Won a lot of races, I think, last year, too. Catching up to Ray Oak, though, we are making some mistakes right on that last corner. I was really hoping we'd be able to catch up in the slipstream here, but with that mistake, he's going to pull away again. NSX is pretty quick in a straight line. BMW is really nice in the corners, but I just couldn't seem to pull it out on any of the straights on this track. Nice and heavy down into the second corner. As long as you can stay on the track here. I do keep grabbing that end of grass just a tiny little bit. But I'm going to try to clean it up a little bit more into the race. Lap 3 of 7 now. Apple was still all the way out, 3.7 seconds ahead of us. A little bit late into the brakes into that left-hander. Braking again before the bridge. You don't want to go over that jump and then brake. It seems that you just don't have enough time in this. And again, I could be totally wrong. I'm not the fastest paced person out there, so I'm sure there are other people that are braking way later than me, way harder than me, and still making that corner perfectly. But staying on Rayoke, 0.4 seconds ahead. Useful Poet is now falling back pretty far, 7 seconds away. But he actually will make an overtake later on. Rayoke off the track. Perfect opening for me to take over there. Now into second place, catching up on Apple as well. He was 3.7 seconds ahead of me at the beginning of the lap. Now only 2.7. I make a little bit of a mistake here, go a little bit too far, but the M8 is pretty forgiving if I do say so myself. Staying heavy into it on that corner there. I would say my biggest struggle would probably be this last corner. I continually go a little bit too far off. But my best lap so far is a 2:12 dirty. Let's see what this ends up being. A 2:09.5. That is my personal best at this point in the race. I was only able to manage like a 2:15 and I didn't even qualify, but in practice. I only did about 2-3 laps and I could get like a 2:15. I don't tend to qualify pretty often. I do like to start at the back and work my way through, whether I win or not. If I come in last or get destroyed, it is what it is. It makes for good content, I think. It's also cool when you can pass 10 people in one turn and, hey, there's a YouTube short. So Apple, I'm not really catching up to him. He's at 3.1 seconds, 3.0. I just kind of need him to make a mistake a little bit here. Terrible on that left-hander. Way too late into the brakes. Now he's a half a second ahead with that. Braking too late there as well. Getting a little sideways, just be able to save it. Now he's at 3.8 seconds, 3.9. Really starting to kind of drag out the distance here. I got to start making some better lines. Oh, off track. Doesn't seem as though it's going to happen here. Our tires are getting a little bit worn, as you can see in the bottom right. We're on mediums, and they're about halfway gone. Looks like he might have made a mistake as well. I am gaining a little bit of time on him, but not much. Down to 3.4. Everybody else is way behind. Rayoke actually went into the pit box on this lap prior. But don't worry, we will see him again. So I decided that I'm going to go into the pit box this time. It doesn't look like Apple is going into it yet, although he probably should have given the circumstances. But I think he was running hards in the beginning. Again, I couldn't see with that little bit of a glitch. We're going to take a chance here and go with the soft tires. I know that by the end, it's probably going to be pretty worn. But I'm hoping that I can make up some ground and catch up to these guys. Wow, that thing, I love the M8, man. It is just beautiful. It just looks so good. Me with my absolute stern look on my face. As you can tell, I am ready to get these laps. Rayoke making the pass. He is on 1 lap older tires than I. So I'm going to have to make some good plays here. Apple Orange, 33 seconds out. Oh, he is drifting around that corner. It's very quick in a straight line, though. Even when I have a better line than him, he's still pulling away. Apple, 32 seconds out. Looks like Hinged Karma DNF'd. Oh my god, Ray Oak lost it on that one. Looks like he just braked a little bit too hard while turning. Lost the back end. And we are making some good lines now with these soft tires. Gaining some ground. 31 seconds ahead of us now. Useful Poet is 12.5. Still can't seem to get that corner just right, but it is not giving me an off track and keeping me a clean lap, so that's cool. I really enjoyed coming out of that roundabout. You just come out, you like shot off like a gun. Full throttle into the right-hander. Heavy brakes into this right-hander here. Try to keep it nice and smooth. You can also do this full throttle as well if you just clip the what's that called? The curb. Almost off track. It did give me a clean lap, but probably shouldn't have been. Now, tires are settling in nicely. Let's really try and go for a good lap here. We got to make up some good time on these guys. Apple Orange is only 2 seconds ahead of us now after his pit, so we did gain some time on him. He was at about 4 seconds prior to going in. Or, well, he was at 33 seconds, but he did go into the pit. At about 4 seconds, I went into the pit. So we're catching up to him, 1.7, 1.6. Really catching up now. Useful Poet in the KTM is about 9 seconds out, 8 seconds out. All three of us are making our way up to him pretty quickly. .3 seconds now on Apple. We are definitely gaining on Useful as well. He's at 6 seconds, 5 seconds, 4 seconds, 3 seconds. Looks like he made a mistake somewhere. He's going to try to block Apple here. But Apple is having absolutely none of that. Takes him right away. And I'm going to jump right in there as well, as he seems to have not pitted. So his tires are pretty much shot. I'm 2.66 seconds up on my lap here. On my best laps, somehow keeping it on the track at full throttle in 4th gear. Now we're about a half second up on our best lap of the 209.5. Ooh, almost hitting the back of Apple. We are right on him now. This is going to be a race right to the finish. Somehow not getting an off track there, but I will take it. Being extremely generous to me this time around. Another mistake. We're up about a second on our lap, though. Again, I still have 13 laps to empty. I really wish I could have set my fuel as well. I think I could have had an even better lap. But a 208.5, 409. That is going to be my best lap of this race. And honestly, I'm pretty proud of that. I was really happy about that lap. Again, I think the track limits were being very generous to me, but that's whatever. I'll take it. Ooh, we got a good run on Apple now. 0.2 seconds. He's going to go defensive. I'm going to give him a little bit of a bump. Oh. He's still right on my left-hand side, though, so no harm, no foul. Last lap, we're getting a little crazy up in here. I'm going to go for the dive bomb of the century. Gave him a little bit of a rub. He's right behind me. And we are pulling away. Thankfully did not get an off-track or a penalty right there. Now I'm just really trying to be smooth with it, and that corner was no help, as again, I almost went off. I really need to learn that corner. Tire wear is minor on the left front. It is down under half. Ooh, getting a little squirrely there, giving him room to catch up. He's at 0.3 seconds. This is, like I said, really, really tight on the last lap. Going defensive on the right-hand side myself. Did not want to let him make a move on the inside. Just cutting that grass. Making yet another mistake. Going off the track, but so did he. See the sign go flying in the rear view. And I'm going to bring this one home today, boys. And that is my first GT3 race of this game. I don't do a whole lot of GT3 racing, but I've probably done 10 to 15 races. And that is my best finish yet. I don't give a shit if there's only 5 people in the lobby. I was pumped. Super pumped. But, yeah, that's going to be it, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a great day. See you later.